presents the Naveed Mahbub Show. No, but I have to say one thing is that I'm going to show this picture. Can you see the picture over here that I have in my hand?
Yep, that's right.
So when it was announced that you were coming here as the High Commissioner, this is the picture that went out. And I can tell you, a few ladies in the town said, ooh, who's that? I can tell you my wife Zara was saying, oh my goodness, who is that guy? Is he coming from Bollywood or something? So tell me, where is this and when is this?
Oh, well, disappointingly for me, it's some time ago. This is in Korea when I presented credentials in 2015. So that's now almost 6 years ago. So there is definitely a lot more gray in the outside the upper story, if not inside it.
And you were the ambassador there in South Korea, right?
Correct.
And I believe you are fairly fluent, other than being fluent in French and in either Mandarin or Cantonese, I'm not sure which one, but when you were in Hong Kong, I think you became fluent in, was it Mandarin? Well, they speak Cantonese over there, but did you pick up Cantonese?
Mandarin, yes, of course. Mandarin. Arguably, you could say it was another example of bad strategic planning on my part. I learned Mandarin when I was in Hong Kong, but on the other hand, I moved to China immediately thereafter, so my Mandarin came in handy then.
So that's kind of interesting because in Hong Kong, they actually speak Cantonese. And so how come you picked up, rather, you said, well, I'm here in Hong Kong, and the natural inclination is, hey, you know what, I'm going to pick up Mandarin because it's just, or rather Cantonese, because then on the streets, I'm very much fluent. But then you picked up Mandarin. So did you know that you were going to end up in China at some point later on?
So to be scrupulously honest, it's a policy. We are sent to learn a foreign language. And till 1995, I think, we sent our Chinese speakers to Hong Kong to learn Mandarin. There was some complicated issue about diplomatic status for trainee officers and so on and so forth. But eventually, that's all been moved to China now. So all our trainee officers who go to learn Chinese go to Beijing directly.
Okay.
So I learned Mandarin and I learned a little Cantonese, just enough to be able to order food in restaurants, which is an important element of language practice.
Oh, absolutely. And Hong Kong, by all means, is it's an absolute gastronomical pleasure over there. So I don't know how foodie you are, but I'm sure that came handy.
Absolutely. You got me absolutely in one. It was a huge incentive not only to learn the language, to learn some functional Cantonese, but also to be able to learn how to eat with chopsticks. You know, that was my first exposure to chopsticks, and a good friend from Hong Kong, in fact, a landlord. I don't know what your experience of landlords ever has been, but this guy was the nicest landlord I've ever had. I was a bachelor, and the man took me out for dinner within a week of my landing up, and took me to a really down-home, local-style Hong Kong restaurant. I think I was the only foreigner there, the only non-East Asian person, in fact. And everybody kind of turned to look at me when I came in. So it was, first of all, it was kind of embarrassing. And then, the food came, and the food was delightful. I mean, I love East Asian food. I love Chinese food. And I just couldn't eat because there was only chopsticks, and I was too embarrassed to ask for a fork and a knife. So, and since I was a bachelor, I went back home and I starved because there was nothing else at home to eat. So I figured that the best way forward was to learn how to eat with chopsticks. So I bought chopsticks, and I bought a can of peanuts. And I practiced with peanuts and a chopstick till I actually got the hang of the damn things. So now there's nothing that I can't eat anywhere in the world.
Good. And you said you went to the restaurant and a lot of people were looking at you. Is that because this is how you looked at that time also?
No. Quite the other way around.
You were a bachelor. You're giving me a diplomatic answer right now.
I think it was more like an oddity. Where is this brown guy coming from?
Look, Hong Kong in brown person is not an oddity by all means. I went to a comedy show and there was this guy. He said, "Oh, we have a comedian from Hong Kong," and it was an Indian guy. I said, "Come on, man, you're from Hong Kong, so you're not an oddity for sure." But anyways, you're also fluent in French. How did that come about?
So there's a kind of another embarrassing story about that one. When I was in university, my late father had then at that time thought I was showing signs of becoming serious because I told him, "Dad, I want to go to Alliance Française to learn French." And, because I want to sit for the civil service exam and be a diplomat. And so he said, yeah, absolutely, I'll pay for it, no worries. And he gave me the money for it. And I didn't tell him, but the reason I wanted to go to Alliance Francaise is all the pretty girls in university used to go to Alliance Francaise.
Oh my God.
So I thought, this is the best way of at least getting to meet some nice girls who wouldn't talk to me otherwise in university. And my dad paid for that. But, fathers turn out to be smarter than sons think, because I didn't get anywhere with any of the girls who were learning French, but I certainly got a decent distance with learning French. So I learned French. so that helped a lot.
It's very interesting you say this story, because I think age-wise we are somewhat close, because in 71 I was a little kid also. And kid you not, we have an Alliance Francaise, and during our times, Alliance Francaise and the likes were the few places you could go and check out people. And I also actually signed up for French because I liked this girl, and she liked me too. And we both signed up. So I paid. I went to the class first day. I sat there, and then her dad signed up, and he was sitting right in between us. So the next day I went and I took a refund. I said, I'm not going to waste my money if her dad is going to be here.
You didn't pay your money to go and chat up her dad.
So no French, but I got my money back.